Alright folks, welcome back to Minecraft. Today, we've got some exciting stuff on the docket. I have the first steps in mind for working on the big project that I've been teasing. It'll be a long time before we get it finished, but I wanted to get a start on it. And, oh, I apologize, hang on. We're gonna load into the world real fast so it doesn't kill the stream rate. Oh, there is something that I forgot to do. There we go. Alright, yep, everything is in order. So, where we left off last time, we had gone to the end and gotten everything there that we could. And that means that we finally have access to, these shulker boxes. And I've already made up a handful of them. There's one in here with backup supplies, consolidated a bunch of stuff in the in chest. Need to restock this stuff here, but and if we come back over here, I have a handful set up for the future project, which we will be working on today. I don't remember if I had some set up. Hang on. That's 16 there. What's up? Total, or did I have... I don't remember. We're gonna use a handful for experimentation. Yeah. I made a few more redstone bundles, but we're gonna make a redstone shulker box for bigger projects as well. We'll do that off stream, I think. For now, we're going to use these to I'll leave these in there, I think. I just need... No, I need dispensers. And hoppers. I don't have hoppers in here. Oh, new recipes unlocked. That's right, we're on Mounts of Mayhem. Oh, that means I'm gonna have to... Well, hold on. We can craft saddles now. So 99 nuggets. I don't remember. Hello, planet! It is good to have you here. Ah, okay. Fortunately, I already have plenty of saddles. Lots of them. I do want to try out a spear, though. Let's... real quick. There we go. Okay. Let's go enchant this. I have lots of levels. We're looking for a lunge as the new, very interesting enchantment. Aha! Lunge 3, sharpness 3, very nice. I'll shove these in there. What other things can a diamond spear have on them? Can it go up to sharpness 5? There's a mending. We'll want that. Are these all mending? They're all mending. Okay. I need to organize this place better, but we will get to rebuilding the library in time. Let's try to see if we can't get something better. Nope. Yeah, sharpness can go higher. Okay. Let's grab another diamond and enchant a couple more. We'll still have above 30 levels. Hold on. What's in here? What else, I wonder, could go on? Looting? Probably? I hope so. Take this one for the Unbreaking. As needed. Hello. Fire aspect. Okay, that makes sense. Smite 5. No thanks. Sharpness 4 knockback. One more shot. Lunge 3. Just lunge 3. Okay. I'll pop that in there. We'll try enchanting it some more later. Might come up with something better. And in the meantime, we'll put these other books on it. How have you been, Planet? Ah, no, I had these laid out for that purpose. I forgot about that. I prepped for this stream a few days ago. Let's go ahead and stick these back in there, and I will make a proper redstone shulker box. Gonna want to rename it too. Fill that up in a sec, but back first to testing out the spear. Well, that's interesting. It does. Ooh. It does the poke. Ooh, you go pretty far with that. It does the poke when I'm right-clicking to interact with something. You can't do a jab and a lunge. Or a charge and a lunge. You always do the jab with the lunge. We'll have to wait for night and then see how that works. But I was informed about a glitch with Spear. Okay, so if I just... Actually, we can test it with lunge even, since it's the left click. If I take something in my inventory, if I just click outside my inventory, nothing happens. If I right-click outside my inventory, nothing happens. But if I take something in my inventory and drop it with R... Oh, it pokes. Interesting. But if I click outside my inventory, it still pokes. Okay. Does this count as an attack? No. Okay. Okay. So perhaps... more of a visual glitch than anything. Interesting. Okay. So, we have discovered that it works on interacting with things, but also on throwing something out of your inventory. And that's with right or left click. Interesting. Very peculiar. I wonder why it does that. There we go. Come on, break. I suppose they don't look like birds. Anyway. That's very interesting. I'm going to go find something to attack with this. I did get the opportunity to watch it in action with a little interaction as little bro and I were setting up for future Heartflower hunts things. But I haven't gotten a feel for it myself. I suppose the best course of action would be to go to the desert area. Yeah, let's do that first. I want to find... I want to find a coral nautilus. I'll stick you in there, keep you safe. And while we're there, we might run into the new desert enemies, too. Now the question is, would I keep a coral nautilus in one of my aquariums? I think so. Yeah. We can use a regular nautilus for transportation, just fine. And the coral nautilus is something of a novelty. A regional zombie nautilus variant. It's difficult to come across. Still no Strider armor. Poor things. The meme of the kid drowning and then the skeleton at the bottom of the pool, and it's Mojang adding new things to Mounts of Mayhem. And the kid that's struggling to stay afloat is Strider armor, and then the one at the bottom of the pool is pig armor. Hopefully it'll be night by the time we get there. That would be convenient timing. And then I suppose we'll just do our best to ride it all the way back that we can, and then... From there, I'm not sure. Hello. So, lunging, not the best when you want to use the range to your advantage. I should have tested that out first. Although camels dash forward instead of having a higher jump, so would they not work quite well with the jousting function of the spear? also can't tell if the lunge really does any more damage. Because this is 4 attack damage compared to the sword's 7. Plus 1.75 sweep damage ratio. Very good for keeping things off of you, I imagine. But that's not what you would want the lunge for, probably. Although, I did not try lunging up. Okay, you cannot lunge up, only forward. Unless... Jump lunge up? No. Just forward. Hi, sorry, Hide Call. How does it go? It goes well. Lunge absolutely chews through. Although... Hold on. Can you cross large gaps with it? Yeah! Well. That's on me. But it seems like it could be quite good for that. We have a camel at home. The camel at home is the new spear enchantment. Goodness, look at that. Okay. I'm quite happy with this, actually. Kind of want to see if we can find the new desert mobs. But also, we're looking for a coral non-zombie. It's interesting that desert skeletons don't become the new skeleton type. Just the ones on the camels. Though honestly, that's for the best. Perhaps. Yeah. Rather annoying already that all... Oh, never mind. Whoop! There's one of our new guys. I was mistaken. Whoop. What are you doing all the way out here, huh? Okay, fine, fine. Man, the weakness really hurts. I quite want to see what you have available. Okay. Get your llamas out of here, dude. Alright. It's cool to see a trader with the new trait list available. don't think we're gonna see anything over there. We're gonna have to go over to the coral biome. But that's why I came here, because there is one nearby. Now those are regular skeletons. What are you doing here? Chance? For skeletons to turn into the, new type? That seems reasonable. Seen a single camel song video. Parched crackles. I might actually stand a chance against the iron golems. Might be prudent to do something about this giant mob spawning platform that I made. At some point. Possible ground spawns. Get away from my map floor. I don't have a purpose in mind for that yet. I just wanted to have one available. This felt like the best place to do it. It's too bright down here with all these darn sea pickles. You're not gonna get any drowned spawning. Oh, I have to check this out. Interesting. And our first instance of spear as loot. It would be a good idea to check this out, I think. Probably suspicious sand here. Is it possible I generated the rune before suspicious sand was a thing, but never looked at the chest? Oh, you got hurt by the pufferfish and now you're mad at the pufferfish. That's funny. Didn't realize that would happen. But it makes sense. Oh no! You big meaty! Oh, can't lunge underwater. So we just get a nice look at the increased range. Interesting. Shipwreck. First glance, that looked like a shipwreck over here. Yeah, I guess not. Oh, there's the Nautilus. Hello. If you're noisy, maybe then I wouldn't want to put you in... fish. Although, hang on. Improved transparency. I need to see if this allows you to see the bubbles through. Although, hang on. There was an adjustment that I was thinking of making in regards to... the bubble chest that I have in my aquarium. But this, if it lets you see the bubbles through the glass, like it suggests that it does, then that would be very cool. I hesitate to turn it on just yet, but maybe... We'll see. I'll test it out on the screen. You can have a look at what it looks like on the screen. I'll test it out on the screen. Hi, sorry, had another call. Are you winning? Well, I've seen 2 Nautilus, but I haven't seen a zombie Nautilus yet. So, negligibly. I've learned that what I thought was a bug that let you attack while in your inventory using a spear was not quite what I thought. And I've learned that you can't use the lunge underwater. But what if I'm... Yeah, no. You can't use the lunge if you're in water at all. OBS doesn't like the coral one, I don't think. An area of weakness. I have to set up something for that just because it feels like they will be very valuable to get a bunch of. Nautilus has no rider. Okay, we're leaving. Look, is there more over there? No. Alright, see, this is... Yep. Okay. We'll explore over here, too. We will finally run into them. looking for this. Maybe we could find, maybe we could find some Nautilus armor. Okay, so... Well, headed that way anyway. Zombie Nautilus to spawn, I might need to get rid of some of the secret holes to encourage ground spawning. I have one of those. But to get a better look at it in the light. This is it, I think that's it. Yep, that's the one. No Nautilus armor. Oh well. Oh, nope! Golden Nautilus armor. Maybe best to head back to, or at the very least, try to head back to... Try to head back to the village. You know what? It would be a good idea to, no, I have to tame you first. I don't do that. Fish? No, nope. I think I do have I don't actually know. Is it pufferfish? Oh. I guess I was slightly less prepared than I thought. This is gross. Hello. You're just the default ones. Yeah, I guess it's nice. pufferfish to tame a zombie nautilus. You just have to get rid of the prior rider. So ultimately, I didn't expect to need any. But one would have come in handy about now. I collect sea pickles. Actually, it should get dark enough. We'll get drowned spawning. Just be thorough about it, I guess, and then I won't ever need to go out and harvest sea pickles ever again. A twofold plan. That will make it substantially more difficult to try to gather coral from this area, but that's fine. I have a closer location for that. I would like to formally apologize to Larkin, by the way. I said something along the lines of, oh, the Silk Song music, there's catchy or memorable melodies as Hollow Knight. And, of course, I accompanied that with substantial praise for the soundtrack at the time. For other reasons. Because it sounds fantastic. But, I think a big part of the trouble with it was I simply hadn't listened to it when I wasn't trying my best to focus and putting everything I had into, not dying, generally, in-game. So, I have been listening to it again since, and there are many songs that I've just not been able to get out of my head. You get a different perspective when you're not locked in. Precisely, Planet. I found the music fantastic to listen to. Yes. So, my one barely even a gripe about the soundtrack is not relevant. Not anymore. Water, of course, remains the catchiest, though. But if it's the same thing with Pikmin 4, I found the music in that game bafflingly forgettable and boring, but I haven't sat down and listened to the tracks by themselves. Maybe. Maybe. I would certainly hope, since there's an EDM boss in that game, that the music would be suitable. Just overall. There's another one here. I know there is. There's still light. Maybe it was this. Probably. Go up before I drown. Goodness, I'm collecting a lot of sea pickles, and I still have not seen the drown spawn. The disco ball boss rocks. The only other tracks I can remember are ones that reuse motifs from previous games. Well, time to revisit that then, I guess. Hopefully giving it a second shake works out well for everyone. Hard mode recently, and my biggest complaint was that the game was too easy. Okay. It's a regular Nautilus. I think I should find a pufferfish. So, see if I can aim. Ouch. Pufferfish fan. That's a lot less time than I thought. It's also, I can't imagine, an effective deterrent against rounds. Because the only thing that would do damage would be the initial prick. Alright, let's see if I'm on the right track here. It might need to be live pufferfish. I could be mistaken. Pufferfish? Oh! It is pufferfish. It is... dead pufferfish. Fish pufferfish. Which means I need more. Spot. Tiny specks in the particles. Mojang, when they did this place, they did it right. Yeah. Coral reefs are gorgeous. That's interesting. Look at that. Ow! Ouch. Ouch. You know what? If I need the sea pickles, I can come back here. Whoever builds the worlds is doing a great job. Funny to think about, huh? Oh, hold on. Sorry, pufferfish. Not today. Yeah, a rough life. Whoop. Dolphins pick on them. Rounds pick on them if they get poked. Guess that's why they're so prickly. This is enough. Just need to find that one that I already found. Is this the chasm that... Maybe around here someplace. Nautilus. Hello. It's close to the edge of the water. I wonder. Distance actually does seem fairly helpful. Not that I can use it adequately. There you are. Stopped accepting. Yes. And I can breathe now. Or I'm going to not breathe. Oh. See that? What is that, I suppose? Carrots. Maybe a little silly. Checked the whole area for any underwater ruins. Controls are a little awkward. I felt the same way about the Happy Gas, but if you're using the Nautilus for speed underwater, or speed through water, rather, that shouldn't be an issue. I make the whole underside. Make this place dark. And it's all going to be more dangerous. That's okay. On the hunt. Honestly, it might have been prudent to bring... Ow. Ow, ow, ow. The materials for the experiments. Since we're not setting them up in the final location anyways, I could have... just as well used it as a time waster while waiting for dark. I'm destroying some of this. Well, I'm just going around to get the sea pickles. Ah. Hurts a little bit inside whenever I do that, just because it's hard to get. And, ecological disaster. Or it's swimming ecological disaster in this case, I suppose. Ouch. There's definitely light here. There you go. Mermaid's brought someone over to help with the kitchen. It needs new paints, considering that the old paints, if you go down enough layers, is lead. It's gonna be an ordeal. So I'm gonna be in my room for a long time. Thanks. I'm debating how long to pick stream, though. I've got other responsibilities that I should definitely be working on. But if I cannot stream on the weekend, which is feeling somewhat likely, then I am going to want to make this one extra long. Let's make up for it. Every sea pickle popped is more potential ground spawn space. Just gotta seek out the light areas. Hello. Are you stuck? Might have been. I should maybe find the Nautilus that I saddled and get that saddle back. In the event that a drowned on top of a coral Nautilus spawns, I'm going to want to have it ready. Myself in this pickle. So, here's the plan. There we go. Alright, let's make this place a bit deeper. Okay. Let's take all of these sea pickles and put them somewhere safe. That seems reasonable. Let's just me for now. You get yourself stuck. No, now you're stuck. Have fun. Hello. There you go. It's not gonna like you. Ow. There you go. I should have flipped the trapdoor down, placed it on top of the trapdoor like that. It'd be easier. And then flip the trapdoor back up. Ow! How long has this been there? Block here. I took it. La da da, boom, boom. Nice. Sometimes we're gonna get one. If we don't, that's fine. I want to look around for the husk-driven camel zombie again, and we'll see something cool and new and interesting in terms of new zombie-type mobs. I may have to make a new chest specifically for... There it goes. Sea pickles. Soon enough, daytime will come. We've got more hostile mobs spawning below. We'll finally get our first mount of mayhem. Regular Nautilus doesn't count as a mount of mayhem because it's not got a hostile rider. So the one that we have already tamed is just a mount. Is this the High Falls Gauntlet? It is. Leave this over here. I don't think we will be wanting to see pickles ever again. Nice little side effect of this. Tipped. Or lime dye, as the case may be. Who knows? Maybe the grass and stuff also. But I mean, we're already ruining the place. Why not a little bit more? Feels somewhat somber and somewhat fitting that we are destroying coral reef for the sake of getting a zombie coral nautilus. Surely we got to be getting close to the point where something is going to spawn down here. It's got to be dark enough. In at least some of the areas that I've gone over. I'm shocked there aren't any drowns that have come to play yet. Nautilus writers are no. I've got a great big shade all over the whole thing. And there aren't any sea pickles in some of these places left to light it up. Surely. Certainly. There have to be spots where drowned can spawn somewhere. Or is it too close to me? It might be too close. Alright, ground, come out to play. Where are you? The problem is that I'm too close. We'll go out and hunt for, zombie camels tonight. Maybe the lack of proximity will cause some to spawn on the edge of the loaded area, and then I can get close and find them. Calls him a rare variant, it is not kidding. Pardon me. Excuse me. Yeah, you lads are in trouble. Interesting. Sandy hops. Uh-oh. That might be troublesome, actually. Ouch. Lava. Lava. Meow. They have grown cactus flowers. Something trips. Sandy sounds. Something falls on a block. Ah. Camel. What are you doing all the way over here? Actually, you know what? You can stay here. That seems not bad. Not bad at all. Hello. Okay. Yeah, that seems pretty good. This camel maybe has a bit of a weak lunge, though. You can't get me. Ah, no, that's right, you can, because you're slightly taller. Okay, so, if I charge that up... Nope. It has a little bit of an upwards arc to it. Because it is a jump, really. Ooh. So that would be a trick to it, then. It is, on its own, not very effective. Potentially a quite good first weapon. Like, you have enough diamonds over for one. You make a shovel, you make a spear. You make a spear. Can't make a sword, you make a spear. No ground down here today. I'm gonna check to see if I have a... Check a lot of places all at once. No, not even sufficient material to make one. Oh well. I'm not too concerned about that. It's a little wobbly. spiders out here that might want to... give some strength to the cause. I'm imagining zipping around underwater. Spear forward. With dolphin speed? That's crazy. We'd have to have a look and see how much extra damage it would do. I think raining? Maybe raining, that's why. No mobs, but... still back. I imagine you can also go pretty fast with an elytra and get some speed on the stabber. Anything that you want that way. Absolutely obliterate them. Alright, drown. I know you're out there somewhere. This is really the only place that you can spawn right now. Spiders up top we need to grab the screen from. You're drowned. Fishing pole drowned. Your chest. I must have grabbed it. That other one, I guess. Oh. Zombie Nautilus swims. Yes! Hello, new friend. Do I need the pufferfish? I need pufferfish. Hello. Yes! The exact right amount. And you cannot see. You You cannot see the coral if they are wearing armor. Do I go the thousands of I think I have to. Positive Z, negative X. I think I have to go this way. I could just leave it here for now, but enjoy the long journey home. It's a part of the experience, I think. I would be remiss if I left this out. We got a long, long way to go now. Okay, I'm ready for the next update now. I saw someone suggest that the next update already has some leaks going on around it, courtesy of tweaks that have been done in Bedrock, but I don't know how trustworthy that is. Now, I don't want to hang around a trident, because the odds of this 7-heart zombie Nautilus taking damage and dying seem pretty high, so we will not fuck around with that. There will be plenty of opportunities for me to maybe get a trident another time. I think the breath icon that it gives is very silly. Okay, we may have to go around. In this. I think I probably have. Oh, I have not. No, that's fine. Be another one under that, I think. Possibly? Unsure? I guess not. I may have the wrong one. Oh well. Oh well. Nautilus? I'd really rather not lose track of you. Shouldn't be too terribly difficult to find another one, but after the time investment of 1 and 1 hour and 45 minutes. Yeah. No. Losing frames, and I don't know why, which always makes me upset. It better not be a result of all the folks working on our kitchen. It is faster than a boat. If you continue to do... One quick check couldn't hurt. Alright. It is faster than a boat if you continue to do the strokes through the water. Oh, now it's just positive Z. Faster than I have been giving this guy credit. Just at 3,000 blocks in... what, less than 10 minutes? Not bad. Of course, the ocean itself might impede our progress by not being where we need to go. If I've seen this area before. Where I would go to get around. I think the river goes as far as I need it to. Oh. We're sitting ducks here. Okay. Let me know if the lack of frames becomes unbearable. I could just put this guy in a really cool, fancy aquarium and rent him out. Attack zombie knocks. Maybe that would be a worthwhile location for him. Of course, I'd still have to finish rent him out. I haven't felt spectacularly motivated to finish that project, unfortunately. But yeah, on radio mode, so the frames are perfect to me. That's fantastic. Glad to hear it. Okay, already been. Now it's mostly positive X that we need. That looks handy. This is where I think it is. Just so right up alongside rent amount. I may need to go double back though. Might not be exactly what it is. Nope, it is. Rent amount is that way. I'll leave you there for the time being. There shouldn't be anything that dares to attack you there. And you have armor, so you should be fine in the daylight. Still, though, it seems prudent to maybe leash you to stay down. Alright. Lead. Friends first. Stuff that I had in here. Ah. Sorted bundling things. Okay. There you go. Stay put. Stay safe. It doesn't make very obtrusive noises either. I'm supposed to go in an aquarium up at the house. We need a new soundtrack. From Silk Song to Hollow Knight. There we go. Alright, let's go clear out the loot. Put away Chopstick, I think. No. There we go. Put away Chopstick. Yeah, I can fix up the hole. Well, that's not quite what I wanted. Yeah, screw it. Oh, that. I'll patch up the rest of that later. I constantly run past that one. It feels like a weight off my chest to have it out of the way. I'll stick you in there, I think. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. I could use this for the special areas. Feels like a good idea. There, I'll park the seat. Okay, so redstone blocks feel like one of the big important things that I'd want to keep in the box. Actually, let's use these as a guide, because this encompasses pretty much everything that I felt like should go in the boxes. Wool for sure. For the sake of both building circuitry out of and obscuring shulkers. A couple of stacks would be nice. Ouch. A stack of red wool makes sense. Well, no. Contrast doesn't work out great on that. Let's take purple. And let's clean up this floor. Let's leave a stack for use as components. Plus, backup in case I run out of redstone on the job. Well, no, I can get another stack for that. Alright, here we go. Okay, let's get another mending tool out on the bar. There we go. And then another mending tool. Perfect. I'm gonna be full up on redstone at the bottom, which means I'm gonna have to quickly craft it all. Wow. Alright, is that all of it? I think that's all of it. There we go. Full stack. Let's... Next step is gonna be the repeaters and comparators. Let's toss in a stack of loose dust, too. Just for ease of access. For a stack of comparators and a stack of repeaters, that's gonna be 5 stacks of torches, which is a lot. So let's maybe do half a stack of each, which was gonna be 2.5 stacks of torches. And goodness gracious, I have not gathered up enough redstone for this. Wowza. Okay. That's fine. I'll just mine up this port to see how much I get. And then use that as the basis for my decision. I can fill it up more later, anyway. Okay, that was nearly a stack, but not quite. I don't have enough for a stack from this, so let's just do half a stack of each. Half a stack of redstone. Presto. bunch of stone. Presto. That should be plenty. Okay. Half a stack of note blocks. Pistons. Cooking up hoppers and such. Not about all of the dye I put in. I wanted to restock the supply in there. So I grabbed a lot of cactus from the cactus farm and just said, "Have at thee," and then let it go. Pop that in there. Take half a stack of each. That feels perfectly reasonable. Crank these back into shards? No. In that case... that will have to do. I can get more as the case may need. Let's grab half a stack of slime balls. Stick it in with the pistons. Make 24 more pistons, yeah. Cobblestone for that. No, that's not high. there. These are cars. How do these get in? Nope. I don't know. Oh, they were in. I accidentally nabbed them out of the bundle. Nope. I'm gonna make a better place than under here for that. There we go. Let's make 24 pistons. That is not enough. One moment. Okay. No, that was nothing. I am going to grab and some more spikes. Actually, I'm gonna want a lot more than that if I'm also making note blocks and hoppers. Perfect. Let's do 16 hoppers for now. A lot of iron. Oh, I already had some spare in there. Okay. Make half a stack of droppers. Do I want to bother with a... Let's make a small handful of crafters, too. Come in handy. There we go. Now let's make 4, actually. They're very iron intensive. Plus they take dropper switches. I have miscalculated again how much I'm going to need on that front. Let's pop those in there like so. I'm going to use this one for convenience's sake. Copper. Nope. That should be enough. There we go. There we go. These crafting tables. That seems fine for now. I'll increase that number in time. I have access to as much string as I could possibly need. How much is this going to take? 60. Go. Okay, so. Yeah, works fine. Thank you. That was it? That was it. That was the last of it. Okay. Okay, so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should've used a lever. Just pop that in there. One bow too many? No. It didn't go in fast enough. Oops. So I ended up with 2 more droppers. Also, I didn't make enough bows. Okay, you know what, that's fine. That means more quartz. Oh, well, hold on. Isn't it 2 quartz? No, it's 1 quartz. Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. I miscalculated. Fantastic. Honestly, it feels warranted to make several more of those. Just take some more out. I'll find a better place to put it eventually. Anyway, so shove the excess in there if need be. That's not what I meant to do. 16 observers. Extra. Okay. Gold rails. Target blocks. And honey and slime. Let's toss this in there for making buttons and such. Buttons and levers. Blocks. 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 Turn away. I'm fairly positive that I have several target blocks worth of hay bales in a chest. Close by, actually, but I see no reason to not. Oh. Ow! Phantoms! Recently used up a bunch of bone meal on flowers and such, so it'd be good to get the cycle going again. Yeah. The hay bales are down. No. Oh, there they are. Okay. That should be enough for that. Ow. I'm leaving. I got it. I got it. I haven't slept. Let's rectify that. Actually, it does seem prudent to bring some copper. And pumpkins. Ah! The device requires copper golems. Then I can bring the copper golems. that feels about right. Right, let's visit the bees. May have overestimated how many honey blocks I had on here. Slightly. Note to self. Make an automatic bee farm. Just so that I have a little something going on in the background at all times. Got in the... Slimes. We'll go with 16 of these. If I only need the... If I only need the one, then slimes work fine. Slimes and honey blocks are going to be a rare occurrence for me. That's when you need adjacent ones. Putting in terracotta or something here, another immovable block, would probably be... the baked terracotta specifically. Would probably be a good idea. Still the hoe. I don't have... rockets. Stick that in there. Yeah, I don't know what would go here exactly, but that feels like a redstone box complete. Alright. We'll go take advantage of already having a copper golem. Actually, I should grab a copper chest. Some on hand. There we go. Yes. Trying to think about the other things that we're going to need for this project specifically. I think a lot of named items. What to use? Do I use sticks? Yeah, okay. Perfect. I wish you could disable slots in... Oh, hold on. Hang on. Is there something that you can craft? And it spits out one of the same item. Use banners. But... snowballs might have been better, actually. Just because I don't need to stack as many of them. That's okay. Let's grab some snowballs. Actually. Perfect. I'm gonna need more than that. At least stacks, which means I bring one of the boxes with me. Yeah, let's make another perishable. Just got hit with deja vu. There we go. That'll do. Use these up. This in there, I guess. Need to expand on this. Here, and that can be for everything in here. Grabs this automatically, but I haven't needed that much of it yet. Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll want to build with a bunch of dripstone. All right. I think we have everything we need. Well, I could do something fun for a demonstration, I think. Perfect. What are you doing in here? No, Gus. Hello, little one. You're going to be a part of my demonstration today. How does that sound? Um, well, this isn't going to be the floor anymore, so I might as well just build a cross for now. I just realized something of a limitation. That's okay. If I want to expand beyond a certain point, I can always use multiple copper golems. Okay. Hello, little one. I have here... nine chests that I want you to sort things into. So, over here we're going to use a little demonstration. Okay, I need a dropper and a hopper. Perfect. Hopefully that'll be adequate. Just stick these in there for now. So, here's the sitch. I'm working on making a roguelike. The trouble with making a roguelike in Minecraft is randomization is always something of a pain. But this is my method that I'm experimenting with to figure out how to deal with that. I can't randomly generate rooms and place them. You could if you were doing it in creative, because you could use jigsaw blocks, play around with that. I've seen a very cool method by which someone randomized a stronghold they were making. Let me actually find and credit that. It inspired the method through which... Goodness gracious, this stream is... jank. Jank to the max. I can see it. Yeah, boy. I don't know what it is that's killing my frames. I have to imagine it's the roommate. I'm really sorry about that. I guess this is podcast day. Okay, let me find the what I'm looking for so I can credit it. Oh, a rock cover of lace. Cool. We'll get to that later. Oh, they've done a jungle one, and I think it's a swamp one that I was particularly inspired by. Yeah, this is the one. Kano Karob. That's K-A-N-O-K-A-R-O-B. Has been making different biome-dependent strongholds to replace the game-generated ones. And they've been using jigsaw blocks for that. And essentially they have a template room, and then that can attach to another template room, and that can attach to another template room. And in order to make sure that everything works out just fine for what they want, they have, let's say, the starting room that they generate from is a log, and the log can connect to cobblestone rooms, and then it connects to 3 cobblestone rooms, and each cobblestone room can connect to a stone room. Bam, bop, bink, bop, like that. But the cobblestone room also, the spruce connects to 1 redstone torch, and the redstone torch connects to 1 torch, and then the torch connects to the stronghold room, and everything else is incidental. So that's how that works. But the swamp one in particular is interesting, because what they did for that was they had one big maze-type room. And they had the ability to rotate that. So there were 4 orientations, one facing each way. And if you entered from this side, and it was in orientation A, it would look entirely different from if you entered in this side and it was in orientation B. And then that one big maze room had several different cells in it, and those, in turn, were other rooms, other smaller rooms, that each had their own sets of features. And that was what inspired this system. So, if I'm making a roguelike, but all of the rooms have to be placed in advance, how do I randomize the rooms? The answer to that is fairly simple. I randomize the paths between the rooms. So let's say You're on floor 1 of the roguelike. And this is the starting room. Let's mark it with a torch. And this is the ending room. Let's mark it with a redstone torch. I can make it so that you have to go this way first. Or so you have to go this way first. Hang on. Okay, hold on. For 9 rooms... I could do more with that if I had little side connections. Next to 4, each of these connects to 2 more. So that's, yeah, a total of 12. There were ways that I could have mathed that out a little easier. Anyway, so 9 isn't going to work. I'm going to need more than 1 copper golem per area, but that's fine. That's fine. So, I could make it so that in one run, the player has to go from red to orange to yellow to lime to green to magenta to purple. And in another run, they have to go from red to light blue to green to orange to yellow to lime to purple. Or red to light blue to green to magenta to lime to purple. I can have... they don't have to be immediately adjacent in cells like this. It could be... Orange is actually over here. Red connects to orange and to yellow and to green. But orange also connects to green and to yellow and yada yada yada. It's the number of connections that limit the number of rooms I can have more so than... It's the number of connections that result in the number of things that the copper golem is going to have to sort through. But we'll get to that in a sec. However, I can't just randomize which rooms, which doors are open. So, like, the red to orange, that to be randomized, I could just have a switch that flips at random. On for it's open, or off for it's closed, right? I could do that, but then I could end up with unwinnable scenarios. Like the door to orange is closed, and the door to light blue is closed, and the door to green is closed, and then you're soft locked. You're stuck in red. That is not viable. I could have one that's where I could have an arrangement where you can go here to here to here, or here to here to here, or here to here to here. But because this can't go to purple, and this can't go to purple, and this can't go to purple, you're stuck. You're just stuck. You can't do anything. You have access to lots more of the rooms, but you still can't get to your end goal. That's not viable. And I was trying for so long to figure out a way to make sure that you could get from point A to point B every single time while still having a randomized layout. I think that's the last track. Let's pull up more music. That doesn't sound right. Let's pull up Celeste. Okay. And that was where the whole swamp stronghold thing came in. They had one big layout that they could rotate And no matter which direction it was rotated, that determined what rooms you could go into, and it made sure that you could go into all of them while still cutting off certain paths, depending on the way it was rotated. But on top of that, there were multiple different maze templates, and each one of them could be rotated to allow for access to different rooms. So what I need is a way that I can have a template that controls which all doors are open, that lets you get from point A to point B. If I, let's say, I can demonstrate this a bit more easily like so, I think. Yeah. If I use this for an example, let's go ahead and stick that in there. I don't need that anymore. No, friend, you can't do that. Go back in. Thank you. Okay. So we'll use these fence gates to indicate passages between the rooms. Maybe it would look better if I had the closed ones actually indicate passage, and I connected them with the blocks of question. There we go. Okay. So, templates. Let's say you need to get from yellow to blue here. I could have a template, and then that looks like this. So, in this one, you have to go from yellow all the way around, like so. And then you can access purple from there. So, this is one possible template. Okay? Or, I could have... this is a template. Or I could have this as a template. Or I could have this as a template. And so on and so forth. I can have any number of templates that I want, because I can control how many different paths there are to get from point A to point B. I just need a way to randomly pick between the templates. And that's where the shulker boxes and the copper golem finally come in. So... let's say... This is template A, this is template B, this is template C, this is template D. And in template A, we have 1, 3, 4, and 7 open. And those are the doors that are open, and this is obviously not... not a one-to-one example for what it's going to look like in the end. In template B, we have these things. In template C, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 open. And in template D, we have 5, 3, 2, 6, and I didn't rename them, but Snowball is 9. So, in template D, this is the only one in which door 9 is going to be open instead of closed. And then, I take all 4 of these. Spencer, I think. And the golem, I believe we can have in a more confined space, but... no, don't you go anywhere. Thank you. Okay. We have our different templates in there to randomly pick from. And then, on... you might have to make sure that the copper golem does not stand there. What happens if you are standing there when a shulker box is ejected? Dispenser failed. Okay, so it's the first big hurdle has been discovered. So, template, whichever one this was, is selected. The copper golems, sort them into the correct places. Do you know where everything is going to go? No. Oh, no. Okay, I see the trouble. So we can't just use stacks of sticks. Noted. They will have to be unique items. Okay. Noted. But then we can pop this out of the way. I'm gonna have to do something about that, too. Make sure that it doesn't go into the wrong hopper. Anyway, let's test yellow. So. Finds the one for template 9. Time is not an issue here, but we will want the chests to be closer together. So that they find the correct one in a reasonable amount of time. And we can chain them together so that if we need it to go faster, we can add another copper golem so that the items go from there to where they need to go sooner. If we need it to have more item capacity, which is likely to be the case, we can have an overflow where the items that don't sort into anywhere else go. Oh, I forgot. Hang on. Okay, so we need... Let's these there. Space. We need Imperator. Okay, so you... One. You can stick other items in here as needed. That takes us to 2. Okay. Okay, so that's 2. 1. Okay, so it's good that we have the experimentation going. Okay, when that hits 2, it is going to both flip a copper bulb, or what have you. This is not fully oxidized. Have some of the fully oxidized ones in here instead. Anyway, it is going to flip a flop saying, oh, this is yeah. Okay. This is going to power the door. So, for reference, let's just grab one of these. There's going to be another trail off of here, making sure that the door stays powered. But also... it is going to queue up I need to be a bit more clever about how this is laid out. Actually, that should work just fine. Okay, so. Yes. You step off of there for a second. And this is obviously less than perfect. I could also use the... No, I could not. I devised a... I showed it off on stream, actually. I devised a system by which you could have a chest that is partly full of items for a copper golem to sort things into, and it would release a bunch at once. And that is for the purpose of smelting with bamboo. so that the copper golem doesn't just stick one bamboo at a time into an item filter, and then you can smelt half an item, and then it stops smelting. It's so that the golem will put a bunch in at once, and then it will fill the system up with several instead of... Essentially, it's a way to make sure that items stay in your item filter chest. But this is a similar system that I have devised here. Let's just... Okay, so our template has been recovered. The copper golem picks up the item, takes it to where it needs to go. I said takes it to where it needs to go. Uh-huh. The golem will get there eventually. Again, if we need to speed this up, we could include multiple golems. And each golem can hold 10 chests at once in its recent memory. And it won't always be the same 10 chests if you have lots of chests in one place. Okay, so that pops that open. It's flipped the flop. The door stays open for now. And one of the snowballs in this dropper goes flying out. So, that is going to lead to a hopper or what have you. And at the end of the system, this is going to lead back into a template box. So, eventually these will be connected. And at the after the game is over, it's gonna reset the system, and all open doors will close again. And that's it. That's all it needs to do. I will have to carefully work out what every template looks like, and I'm going to have to use a lot of items, I think, because if I can't use sticks for all of them... Found the right one? Yep, found the right one. If I can't use sticks for all of them, yeah, this. It's like where'd the other sticks go? I never extracted them. Need like a filler item there, and that will make it so that whenever one item is put in here, one item comes out of here and it'll be queued up to go back into the template. Multiple items going into a template technically wouldn't cause a problem, but it would slow things down, because if this triggers multiple times, it's just going to go... If this triggers multiple times, it's just going to go... Oh, there's another thing in this system. Let me trigger what's already been triggered and spit out another thing into the hopper. Do you sort banners of the same color? If you don't, I can use up to 16 per sorter. Where do I have banners? monsters out of the way. That's interesting. Banners aren't showing up as a craftable. I can make one. But because those are renamed, it's not appearing in the available crafting recipes. That's good to know. It also, I assume, means... Oh, hold on. If I were to ask it to try to make a banner. It won't put it in. Okay. Interesting. This would mean harvesting a lot of wool. Okay, so I have pink banner in there. You sort red banner into same place. You look adorable holding that, by the way. Hey, you don't know where to put that. Now you'll start looking through items again. You're looking through the chests. Uh-huh. Can't put it there. That's a potential problem in any copper golem sorting system, I guess. Huh. Can't place item. Okay. You can just give me that, little buddy. There we go. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. So, I will experiment with how to make this more efficient. And, I'll do that largely off stream, I think. Drop anything? No, okay. Alright. I'll have to also work out the templates, probably before I build the rooms, so that I can have a good idea where I want everything to go. That's quite some time off yet, though, I think. I have many more systems left that I need to sort out. For example, replenishing splash potions to rooms, because some rooms are going to need splash potions. Oh, in the... Okay. I need to make a redstone lab, I think. What do I do with all of the sticks? You know what? Yeah, I can just leave that just here. Everything is so complicated, little guy. Anyway, I suppose there's one more thing that I should demonstrate. I have 4 areas in mind. And a part of the template system is going to be determining the order of the areas as well. So, for example, in... Okay, so in one run, you could have to do... all this connection is always open. In one run, you could start in this area, and the template takes you to this area. And every single template in this area will be able to connect to this area, and this area, and this area. So in this run, this template takes you to this area. And this one is always able to receive the player. And then from here, you have to cross over to this one. And this one takes you to there. And these connections will... Actually, I don't need the templates to work for this. Every template in purple area, the starting area, will be able to connect to either yellow or blue, depending on what the situation may call for. Yellow and blue always will be able to connect to each other, and yellow and blue always will be able to connect to red. But there's going to be one randomizer somewhere that's 50-50. It closes off this one and this one. Or this one and this one, forcing you to either take the left path, then to the right, and then to the final. Or the right path, and then to the left, and then to the final. And every template being able to connect to every possible entry point. That is to say, yellow has to connect to the entry point from purple and to the entry point from blue. And has to be able to exit to blue and exit to red. And blue, likewise, has to be able to enter from purple or enter from yellow, and exit to yellow or exit to red, as the case may be. But yeah, I have 4 areas planned. Each of them has their own theme. A lot of this was inspired in part by Decked Out, but I have my own sort of twist to the theming of the place. Where'd the little guy go? I hear you. Haven't wandered far. Alright. Do I reveal that now? I think I reveal one now. The premise of the game is that it's a dream. And the over the course of the game, you go from area 1 to area left and right, and then to the finale, and you have to do this in a certain amount of time, or you lose. And there are ways to extend the amount of time that you have remaining, and in the end, the amount of time that you have remaining, plus certain other factors are going to determine your score. I actually need to double check if Skulk sensors can detect the player taking damage. Calibrated. Skulk. No, that's the Phantom Wiki. Okay, filtering. Walking, climbing, jumping, swimming, crawling on a non-wool block. Landing on any solid block or in any liquid. Using an item, guiding with an elytra. And Signal 1 will detect enemies walking too, and that's very important for what I have in mind. A player gliding with an elytra, unequipping a piece of gear, or a mob performing a unique action, like a ravager roaring, a wolf shaking, etc. Dismounting a mob or equipping a piece of gear. Mounting a mob or interacting with a mob. A mob or player taking damage. Drat. You can't distinguish between them. Ah. That was one of the things that I had in mind. The idea that I could distinguish between a player and a mob taking damage. And if you managed to do a room without taking damage, that would add to your score. Oh well. I don't think there's a way I could detect specifically whether the player takes damage. And then connect that to a redstone circuit. I suppose as an alternative to don't take damage in a room, I could have as a bonus score a room-specific timer that starts when the room is entered and ends when the room is finished. And if you do that within a certain amount of time, it gives you extra score. But yeah, the premise is you start in Area 1, you go through both of the other areas, you get to the end, you beat a boss, hopefully. I'm hoping to include a boss. And then you're out of the dream and you wake up. But one of the areas, for example, each of the areas is going to be themed around dreams in a different way. And one of them is called... Oh, I didn't name all of them. No, oh well. One of them is called the Cotton Candy Catacombs. If I have 4 different layouts for Area 1, 4 different layouts for Area 2, 4 different layouts for Area 3, and 4 different layouts for Area 4, in addition to the random chance that you go to left or right first. That's going to be 4 options times 4 options times 4 options times 4 options times 2 options, because that last one is left or right. That takes you to 16 times 16 times 2. I typed in 26 times 2. 16 times 32. 32 plus 20 plus. I worked out all the math. It's a lot. It's a lot of different orientations. Maybe I just do 16. 64. And then 64 times 4. 256 times 2. $512. If I did the math right. 512, the back of the napkin math. 512 different orientations, randomly selected between at the start. And I am quite happy with that. I could do up to 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 2. Which would be... $6,461 times 2. $12,922 different combinations. But that doesn't necessarily seem to be needed. I feel like 500 is a decent amount. And that has to keep in mind that every layout template has to have certain conditions that it meets. The left and right have to connect to both Area 1 and Area 4. Area 1, every single template has to connect to both left and right. Area 4, every single template has to connect to both left and right. And if I want them all to be unique, then that's a whole other thing. I guess I could see however many I feel comfortable coming up with. The number of rooms is also going to play into that, and I feel like maybe around 9 rooms per area is okay. 8 rooms per area when they're laid out in a grid means 10 connections. But I don't want them to necessarily be laid out in a grid. I feel like there's a sweet spot. If I can figure out... Would I say a run would be satisfying if it went through 36 rooms of combat and then a boss? 36 rooms of a small handful of mobs each. Yeah, I'd say about that many feels right. Yeah. That sounds good to me. The Cotton Candy Catacombs are going to be pink with pink wool everywhere. And each area in turn is going to have its own slightly different selection of mobs. That was another big sticking point. I was like, how do I make sure that I can get an infinite number of enough mobs to make things interesting? Zombies having access to spears now is going to help with that. Keeping things interesting. Because that's going to change combat in its own peculiar way. So, I have a list of mobs that I can farm an infinite number of reasonably. Initially, trial spawners were going to be the method that I intended to use, but it turns out they can only spawn so many at a time, even if you pull the other ones away. It's gonna just require far too much setup for that. The idea was then I could drink an ominous potion before setting up, and all of the mobs would be tougher on another run through, but it's just not viable. There is a lot to do before I even start building the framework for this place. But just know that is going to be on the back burner for a long time moving forward. I have lots and lots of plans for that. I do need to find a good place to put it. I want multiple spawners that can be active at once, ideally. I could also stand to benefit from some of them being cave spider spawners. I could maybe do something with cave spiders, but a little hesitant to do that. It all comes down to what I have available. I think that's it from Minecraft for today. I could do something else. I wouldn't mind doing something else. Let's... Running a little low on water, but that's okay. Let's... Hey, Planet, if you're still here... Would you like me to try more Silk Song Steel Soul, or would you like me to do some Isaac? I have a lot of D&D prep to do later, and Well, I definitely need to get around to that. I kind of want to make up for this weekend, because I don't think I'm going to be able to stream this weekend. That's not a certainty, but it is something that's been pressing on me for a little while. Okay, planet seems to have moved on to greener pastures for the time being. I think the more recent one that I've done is Isaac, but I stand to do some more. Yeah, I have a little bit of a headache in the back of my head, so we're going to do some Isaac, I think. See you in just a bit.